You know what I'm saying? You better get in the gym. You better get looks maxing, whatever you can do, because that first initial reaction, that's important because you gotta attract her. She's gotta be attracted to you. As she's attracted to you, you don't need to take her out to a steak dinner. You do not need to be a sucker simp. Like all these pathetic loser rappers, dude. People are like, oh, this rapper's got a Lamborghini and a $100,000 chain, blah, blah, blah. And they're paying the woman, buying her a purse, doing all this pathetic simping just to take her out on a date. And I'm telling you, there's smooth dudes out there like me who are dead broke, and they can pull that same exact girl that you're paying thousands of dollars for, wasting your money on. You've got no game if you're spending money on women. I'm gonna hate to break it to you. I'm gonna break the news to you. If you can't pull a woman without spending any money, you have no game. And if you're following these stupid dating coaches that are like selling you courses and stuff, they're pulling all their women using money, and you're buying their dating courses. How stupid do you have to be? They're pulling up in a Lamborghini, which a lot of times they're leasing that out. They're doing whatever. They don't own that Lamborghini. They're making a bunch of payments on all this. They don't even own that car. They're using the car to pull women, and then they end up they're getting left. Blah blah blah. They're complaining about, oh, this girl is like not the type of girl like I wanted. Like she's not loyal. Like I don't want to bring her home to father and mother. Blah blah blah. It's like, yeah, because you are dating a gold digger who's most likely a gold digging whore. Here's how you root them out. Let's go to McDonald's. I was slightly joking about that part, because you shouldn't be even spending money on McDonald's. Take her to the park. You say, let's go on a walk to the park. Not some creepy, isolated park away from everybody. Go to a park where there's a lot of other people at, so she feels safe. And if she has a problem with it, you dump her off on the side of the road, or you dump her off wherever you picked her up from, her house, whatever. Because obviously you pick her up. You know, it's like obvious, like you pick her up. So you pick her up, you go to the park, or you meet her at the park, maybe even better, so you don't have to drive around, waste your gas. And people are like, oh, you're being cheap, blah, blah, blah. No. The only woman that men should be dating, the only woman that men should be concerning themselves with is a non-gold digger woman. Because I hate to break it to you, there's two things that are certain in life other than death and taxes. Is you cannot turn a hoe into a housewife, and gold diggers will always be gold diggers. So you root her out right away. You say, hey, we're going to the park. Or you say, hey, let's hang out sometime. You get her number, whatever. You say, hey, I'll pick you. Let's meet here. Or let's go out, whatever. You can figure that part out. I'm telling you the most important parts, which is you take her to the park, you walk around, and you vibe with her. If you vibe with her and you discover what type of person she is, if she's not an annoying, nagging, masculine woman, then you can upgrade her to McDonald's. I'm slightly joking about that too. Go to Chick-fil-A or something like that. Or go to one of these sit down, like Sharonda's is right here, or actually coffee, actually. You gotta work your way up. Because all you pathetic simps, it disgusts me. It disgusts me. Whether I was broke, rich, whatever, it's always disgusted me. Seeing these pathetic loser rappers who think they're all that. They lose all that money. They lose all the women entirely. They have no game whatsoever. And even if they're pulling some of these trashy women, they're not pulling any actual good, high-quality woman. You pull a high-quality woman, by doing exactly what I'm telling you. You don't give her $1. Now, what's that going to do? A lot of people think, oh, that's going to turn a woman off. No, it's going to turn a gold digger off, which you're trying to be turned off by anyway. You don't want to attract a gold digger. You want to attract a modest woman who's most likely poor herself. You know what I mean? It's like, who wants to date a rich woman? That just makes everything worse, because then she's going to want you to be rich, and she's going to expect this high maintenance trash about, let's go to this $400 steak dinner, let's go to this $500 basketball game. For what? What have you done to deserve that? Make a woman earn your money. If she has not earned your money, she does not deserve your money. This whole idea that men are supposed to pay on the first date and men are supposed to provide for women. No, men are supposed to provide for their wives. For their wives. Just like women, they'll say, oh, if you say, oh, women are supposed to submit to men, they'll say, no, women are only supposed to submit to their husband. That's only husband treatment. It's like, okay, me spending my hard-earned money on you, that's only wifey treatment. So you pathetic simps need to stop giving strangers. You're giving absolute strangers. She could be a serial killer. She could be a serial whore with 400 bodies. And you're taking her out on a $200 dinner. What are you doing, you pathetic simp? I'm here to give you the real truth on how you pull women. None of these dating coaches, none of them, have gotten more women than me. And I don't say that to brag. I'm trying to be celibate till marriage. But this is still applicable to pulling women. Pulling women doesn't necessarily mean getting laid. It means you're trying to attract a good woman and get her attracted to you. Now, a lot of it'll come down to charisma. It'll come down to your vibe in person. But one of the most important things, before you even waste your time getting to that point, you need to establish the foundation. The foundation is you need to establish in your head, even if you have $1 million, even if you have $500,000, I'm not spending $1 on this woman for the first date. And that's the title of this video. Never, ever, 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 ever pay for a woman on the first date. In fact, here's a little trick. I've done this a couple times. You tell them to pay. You don't ask them. You set your foot down to begin with. And here's the other key, which a lot of these weird masculine dating coaches, they tell you not to be humorous. They tell you not to have comedy. One of the number one things that is going to make a woman to you is if you're funny. So if your vibe is funny, while you're doing all this stuff, you can sort of like maneuver your way into just straight up being like, yeah, you're paying for the first date, by the way. You just say that, and if you're funny enough, if your vibe is good enough, she's gonna already be pulling out her wallet, and she might, like, she'll be pulling out her wallet, like, she'll be psychologically, she won't even realize what she's doing, because she's such like a little bit, she considers you so unique, because most men are like, please, can I please take you out on a steak dinner date, $200? She'll go out, get a free meal from that sucker, and probably never talk to him again. A lot of girls, literally, they don't respect that deep down. Even though they're brainwashed and they think like all their friends are told, they're trying to get this whole high maintenance garbage into their psyche. Deep down in the subconscious, they'll literally consider you over all these other guys because you're going to stand out. You're going to be unique. And if you're handsome and if you have charisma and a vibe on the date, it's going to work even better. That's the key. You got to have charisma. You got to have a good personality, or you're going to get laughed at in your face. Maybe that's why I've had such good luck with women. I have an amazing personality. I'm one of those handsome men ever. But you're also super humble. But anyways, you say, hey, oh, by the way, you're paying. And then if you're a good girl, you just tease her. You have this, I'm not saying like the whole masculine and submissive thing is wrong. I'm saying these weird masculine dudes are so, they're always like, oh, don't lose your frame. Hold your frame the whole time. They don't, you want to lower your frame in terms of a comedic sense, in terms of a, you know, a goofy sense. A lot of these men, they say, oh, don't be goofy with women. They have no idea what they're talking about. They're a boring brick wall. They're just standing there. You want to have the masculine essence. You want to have the masculine aura, but you also want to have the humor ingrained in your interaction with the woman. So when you say, hey, by the way, you're paying. Yeah, you're paying for both of us, sweetheart. And then she's going to be like, huh? What? What you mean, mama? Or... I've straight up had this. I'm telling you, I've straight up had girls just be like, okay, and then you say, but I got the next one. Now you could do that, or you could just split it. But if you lead with your wallet, you will literally, every interaction after that, she's going to be expecting money out of you. Whereas if you start off the date with a free date, going to the park, going to the beach, going to the mall, just go walk around the mall, whatever. But I think the park is the best first date any man could ever go on a girl with. Why? Because once again, you're gonna be rooting out the gold diggers. You don't want a gold digger. Because remember, what did we say? Once a gold digger, always a gold digger. So you're going to root out the gold digger automatically. And she says she has a problem. If you ask a girl, remember, there's less than 10% of girls are wife material nowadays. That means 90% of girls that you're going to be trying to waste your time with, you're going to get let down. You're going to get cheated on. You might even catch an STD from. You might find out she got pregnant with some other dude, blah, 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 blah. You don't want that heartbreak. That's why you see, I just saw this story. This guy killed a girl because of all this. Like, there's so many emotional, angry situations where men get themselves in because they're leading with the wallet. They're not rooting out girls from the beginning. You need to root out girls from the beginning. When you do that, you save yourself so much trauma, so much heartbreak, so much wasting of your time. Because remember, one of the main essences of why I'm saying all this, your money is time, your time is money. You take a girl out and you waste all your money on her, even if, like I said, even if you're rich, this is 100% applicable. You're still wasting your money, and you're setting the precedent that, oh, I'm just going to spend a bunch of money on you, even though you've done nothing to earn it. Women are supposed to chase men. That's what God himself says. The woman submits to the man. So if you're a man, if you're truly a man, she should be chasing you. Now, obviously, the initial interaction, you have to make the move, because it's very rare that a woman is going to approach you. So if you see the cute girl that you want, initially you have to approach her first, get her number, and then you figure out how you're going to take her to the park. Once you establish that, you figure out if she's okay with going to the park. If she's not, you cut her off and you block her. But she's really hot, but she's really blah, blah, blah. If she's into you, which if she's not into you, that's when she's going to bring up this whole, the park, huh, blah, 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 huh, blah, blah, blah. You don't want one of those modern type of girls anyway. Now, all these dating coaches, these fresh and fit type of dudes, these suckers, they'll talk bad about these type of girls, and then they'll go out and date them the whole entire time. They'll date those exact type of women because they're not rooting them out from the start. And they're not rooting out from the start because they don't even have the balls to take a girl out on a free date, because they just assume they're going to get rejected right away because they have no true game. If you have true game, and we're going to get into that, eventually, maybe I'll even sell a course on how to have game with women, true game, true aura, and I'll post receipts. Eventually, I'm going to hop on these Omegle. I'm going to do all this, and you can see the proof. The proof is in the pudding of how easy it is to have game with these girls. But you gotta have an aura. Maybe it's just my unique aura that it works. Maybe this won't work for none of you, but maybe it's like only works for me, and only handsome dudes. But the point is, don't spend $1 on a woman on the first date. Now, does that mean every single date you're gonna go to the park? No. Hello. Especially if you're rich, you could probably afford to take her to a nicer place. But she has to earn it. Make a woman earn your value. I think it's even more so that you should take her on a free date if you're rich, because that's what a lot of these stupid, goofy women are going to say in the comments if a bunch of people see this video. Because you're just saying that because you're broke. I could not be broke. I could just be I could just be lying to you right now. Every man should actually appear as if they're broke. You got all these men trying to appear as if they're rich when they're not. And then you got the rich suckers like these rappers that are just buying girls' purses and all this crap, when there's absolutely a man out there that can get that girl for free with the right game. But it's also about the right girl. That's what a lot of people aren't focused on. They're focused on, how can I get this 90% woman? I must spend money on her. Otherwise, she's not going to give me the light of day. She's not going to give me a chance, blah, blah, blah. You're still focused on the 90% woman, which is not a good woman, which is not wife material. This is to help actually have dating success. You're not going to have dating success with a 90% woman. This is to root out the 90% woman and attract the 10% woman. You root out the 90% women right away by saying, we're going to the park. And once you go to the park, like I said, and you have a good connection, a good vibe, you can either leave the park right away, and on the second date, that's when you do that whole thing about, oh, you're paying. And if she's liking you, she's into you, she might literally just straight up say, oh, sure, okay, no problem. But then you say, okay, but I'll get the next one, don't worry. But you're getting this one. Flip it on her. It's going to blow her mind. She's like, what? Who is this guy? I've never had a guy just be like, tell me I'm paying. What is this? If you're ugly, if you have no game, she might just laugh at you and walk out. If you're handsome, or even if you're not that handsome, but she is attracted to you, why do you think Pete Davidson, you think Pete Davidson is a handsome man? You think he's like in shape? He's got, not a high market value in terms of, looks maxing and all that. It's his personality. He is funny with these women. That's his secret. A lot of people are like, how does Pete Davidson get over it? It's the aura. It's the charisma. It's the humor. Women love a funny guy. And they love a good personality guy. But the personality has to be the right perfect mix of masculine, but also humorous, but also a little bit seductive, but also, oh, you're a leader. A bunch of different things, but those are the main things. So when you take her out to the park, you have a good vibe, and guess what? Here's how you root it. It's so easy. You can't fail doing this, because if she's like upset about going to the park, you say, okay, bye, gold digger. Bye-bye. That's why I say, if you're rich, even more so, you should be taking a girl to the park. Because you have a lot to lose, my friend. Look at all these stupid football players and NBA players. They date one of these 90% type women I'm talking about that you should purposely try to avoid. They end up getting married. They just, boom. They divorce after 1 year and take half their money. If you have a lot to lose, you even more so. Literally. I know it might seem, it's like reverse psychology. It may seem like, wait, but if I have the money, shouldn't I just, since it's nothing to me, shouldn't I just like be able to spend like $50, $100 on a date? No, not the first date. You take her out somewhere free. You can root her out right away. Now, if you're good at reading women, I'll make other videos on how to read a good woman. This is a little bit obvious in this one. You root her out. If you have a bad time at the park, you know how easy it is to just say, all right, well, I gotta go. That's why I say it's even better if she meets you at the park. Because then if you don't like her, you can just be like, all right, I gotta go. You don't have to awkwardly drop her off or just like anything like that. You say, all right, well, I gotta dip. And that's that. If y'all do vibe, y'all do connect, you could either leave the park and she's gonna be into you, so she's gonna want more of you. So then the second date, that's when you set something a little bit more up, like ice cream or whatever. But you could even go straight to the park and then ice cream. If y'all are really vibing and it's early and it's whatever, y'all still got time or whatever, and it hasn't been too long, maybe you spend an hour or two at the park, you can go to ice cream after the park. You say, hey, you want to go get some ice cream after this? We should do it. Let's go get some ice cream after this. And then you go get some ice cream after the park. You spend a little $5, $10. That's nothing. You should not be paying $100+ $50+ even $30 or $40 on the first date. Even if you are rich, I'm telling you, this is a secret that none of these dorky dating coaches that didn't get any women when they were broke are going to tell you. They're not going to tell you this because they can't do it, because they don't actually have any game. So this is way longer than I expected. If anybody's still watching this, stay tuned for more videos. The overall summary is never, ever, let's start a trend, never pay for a woman on the first date. Do not spend any money on her on the first date. What is that going to do? Oh, that might turn her off. That might blah, blah, blah. You want to root out those type of girls. A girl who is truly into you, even if she's not into you, although it's rare, it's a lot easier if she's into you. But even if she's not into you, if she's the right girl, but she's not really into you, she needs more time to see if she's into you, she will still be totally fine and okay with going to the beach, going to the park for the first date. And like I said, don't go to some like secluded thing that's, you want her to be safe on the first date. You want her to feel safe and comfortable with you on the first date. So if y'all are vibing, if there's good sunshine out, you go to the park, you have a good hour or two together, that vibe, I'm telling you, she's gonna go home, you make her laugh a bunch, you know, you flirt with her the whole time, you're gonna have a nice flirtatious, goofy, fun time with her. You're gonna have a fun time with her at the lake. Now what that's gonna do also, she's gonna be like, wow, I can't stop thinking about that dude. We were like vibing, we were just walking around the park. I can't imagine how much fun we would have like going to like an amusement park or going to like play basketball together or something, or going to jet skiing, some of those type of adventurous type of dates. You'll get into that. Here's the key. You're gonna eventually spend money on the girl, but you're gonna make her wait. You're gonna make her earn your money with a good vibe. Because it's not just about you having a good vibe, it's about her having a good vibe. So once she proves she's a good vibe, that is when you reward her, because you're into her, with more adventurous, maybe more expensive dates. But on the first date, you do not pay. Apply that. Watch what happens. Stay tuned for more videos.